The Russo Brothers, directors of the upcoming Captain America Civil War and the next two Avengers films, have announced that Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2 will be shot entirely using IMAX and ARRI's next generation revolutionary 2D digital camera. A joint customized digital version of ARRI's new large format camera, the Alexa 65. The two-part Avengers saga makes the first time a Hollywood feature film will have been shot completely using IMAX cameras and will feature IMAX's exclusive aspect ratio, providing moviegoers a uniquely immersive experience. John, does this news excite you?
There's a couple things that I find exciting about this. The ARRI camera, ARRI's has always produced some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I love that it's a 2D camera. Because hopefully, I don't know, I probably getting my hopes. I don't want 3D anymore. I just get rid of 3D. Right. But they could always post-convert, sure. What's interesting, though, is if they're going to shoot it in that native aspect ratio. That's interesting to see. So what are you going to do with a lot of movie theaters that way? So I'm sure they've got a plan, but anything that pushes the viewing experience forward, I'm always good with. This sounds like a good thing to do. And doing something like this with a film like Avengers Infinity War, this is going to be beautiful to look at. Anyway, Christian, what do you think?
I agree, but don't hold your breath for the 3D.
Oh, no, I know. You're right.
Post conversion, because they're going to have to pay for that IMAX experience
to
make that money, so they're going to put it in 3D. But I love this news. Anytime one of my favorite tweets is, "Hey, should I watch this in IMAX or 3D?" Always IMAX. And if you happen to get IMAX 3D, whatever, but always IMAX. IMAX enhances the experience so much. The sound, the quality, everything about it. And they haven't been able to shoot a full movie yet. This is the first movie, and what a movie to do it to. I mean, my God, I agree with you so much. Anything to enhance the movie-going experience. There are certain movies that you don't necessarily need to see in a theater, especially now after this. This is a movie that is going to be, you have to see this in the theater.
This is like next level. Yeah. When you read about announcements like this, if you're a film fan and you like to go see movies and you hear something like this is that next level thing where you're taking a giant property like the Avengers, and especially something that's going to be shot over, all 9 months. They're shooting both films back to back. They're going to be released, a year apart or something. That's fantastic. And then to know that it's going to be in IMAX, all those special effects people are going to be working extra hard now because there's like double the width, double the space, double the size. Like the Hulk has to have extra pixels now. You know what I mean? It's going to be like we just had to purchase 48 extra render farms to be able to make this movie happen. But it's all for us. So I mean, it's a great thing. I think it's almost a thank you from the filmmakers from Marvel saying, look, we appreciate everyone supporting us and making the cinematic universe. So now we're going to make it even a bigger cinematic experience for you to shoot everything in IMAX. And if you haven't seen an IMAX film, I'm sure you guys have, but one of the more exciting things when you see the IMAX and it does the countdown with a little swirl, you're about to enter IMAX. And then it depends on the movie whether it lives up to that opening credit experience where you see how crisp and amazing IMAX can be. And then you've seen all these films that were only partially shot in IMAX or segments of it were shot in IMAX. Now we're going to get an entire film, a giant special effects bonanza, crazy superhero adventure shot in IMAX. So to me, it's incredible news. As a cinephile, I'm overjoyed.
Well, jumping off what Schnepp said also is that it's gonna open the doors for when it is successful, because it will be.
Oh yes.
Other movies will be doing it. You'll get Star Wars in it. You'll get the Star Treks in it. You'll get all these big movies, big franchises that hopefully, if it works out, and when I guess the Russos afterwards are saying it actually was a pretty fun experience, then other people will be doing it. So I mean, Avatar, I'm sure will be the next Avatar's. Well, maybe not, because did they start shooting yet?
I don't think they started
shooting.
No,
they haven't started shooting.
The biggest obstacle with IMAX has always been the size of the camera. The cameras themselves, you cannot even have one dude running around with it. It's so incredibly giant and heavy. Remember, the frames are this big, and now that it's digital, they've been able to compress everything and make everything smaller. It's like the transistor when it first came out. It was like the transistor was this big. Now there's 48 of them in your phone, or 4,000 of them. I don't even know how many. But as our technology has increased, we've been able to shrink the size of those cameras. Henceforth, people have been able to mount them on steady cams. Nolan was able to shoot a big bulk of some of the Dark Knight trilogy in IMAX, being able to use even big cameras. When you see what he was shooting with, I think it was film. It was like, wow, that's very intense. But we're going digital now, which just makes sense.
So you're saying we'll be able to shoot IMAX on our phone in 10 years?
I think so.
Well, no, it's not that we're already shooting 4K on our cameras. Yeah. But that is the big thing that I think we overlooked in this, is the fact that this is I believe this is going to be the first IMAX camera that is digital. Like, gone is, there it goes. I mean, Quentin Tarantino's crying right now, but there goes the 75 millimeter print. I think this is a great thing. I think this is really good. And you're right. It's going to make these cameras manageable, whereas before they simply were not.
Yep.